Alright, hi guys, my name is Megan Blevins-Wagner, and the videos that I decided to watch all had to do with strategies and tips to help ELL students. My first video was called ESL Student Support Strategies for ELL, LEP, and bilingual students. This video basically went over 6 strategies in order to support the ELL learners. It included assigning classroom buddies. It also suggested that these buddies should speak the same native language and they can help them in assignments and class instructions. It also says that they should kind of sit kind of close to their buddy. That way they can help them if needed. It also said that teachers should write in print because cursive is hard to read for students, especially for the students that English isn't their first language. Preferential seating goes back to seating kids next to their classroom buddies. That way they can help them on projects, and also kind of sitting them close to the teacher. That way they can hear them better, see the examples, and the body language the teacher uses. It also went into giving extended time for students to complete assignments, and maybe even reducing the length of the assignments. I'm so sorry. My computer's having issues. It's been doing this to me all day long. Okay. Sorry. And it also goes in, went into that we should teach students important words, but that doesn't necessarily mean like vocabulary words. That could also mean just everyday words that they need to know. And it also talked about having a warm attitude and just staying all around positive. My second video was called Empowering English Learners. It was by Pearson. It was kind of short, but it had 3 main points, short and sweet. Was that you need to connect to students' prior knowledge, but not only that, but you need to make the content interesting to the student or they're not going to remember it. And it also emphasized that students need to become aware of how language enables them to become more powerful. Language is how they communicate to others, and the more that they can communicate, the more they can convey their interests, meanings, and efforts. My third video was how to teach vocabulary to ELL students. I really liked this one. It was a teacher from a school who was showing one of her lesson plans on how to teach vocabulary. She started with showing the word with examples, and then showing the word with visuals, and then giving the students definitions. And then she said that she would go through it like a few times a week. And the first 2 times that she would give them the definition, but then the third or fourth time she would have them come up with definitions on their own. And then she went on to talk about how she would give even more examples, and then she would have them do independent practice. And for this particular lesson, she had them do a 4 square. So they folded their paper into 4 squares. And in the first square, they would write the word, the vocab word. And the second one, they would write the definition in their own words. And she said that she had it on a word wall so they could reference it, but then they had to go back and write it in their own words. And then in the third square, they would use it in a sentence. In the fourth one, they would have to draw a picture that would help them remember what it is. So the 3 ideas that I kind of wanted to talk about was have a positive attitude. Having a positive attitude can foster a learning environment. If students don't feel comfortable talking to you, then they're not going to answer questions. It shows that you care about them. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, connecting to prior knowledge. Yeah, students are more likely to remember information if you connect it to what they already know. It gains their interest and makes it more personable for them. My last one is allow students to practice, giving that extra time if they need it, cutting back on the assignment if needed, doing a few examples with the students. That way, they're getting a little bit of experience with it with your guided help, but make sure that your examples are clear and make sure they paint a picture in the student's mind or have a visual representation for it to connect with. And then letting the students do it on their own, like with their own independent practice. Oh, I don't like that. With each of my points, I think they're all very important. I chose to do ELL strategies because that's something I want to learn more about, because I feel like I haven't learned too much about it in any of my other classes, and I think that just being all around positive so your students trust you is very important. And in all your classes you learn about connecting to their prior knowledge, and I also think that's very important, because if you don't do that, they're not going to remember it as much, because it's not going to be important. Like, they're not going to remember it as much because they have nothing to connect it to. And then allowing them to practice. Like, I know in personal experiences that you don't just get something in the first try. You got to do it over and over again. And it's easier for me if somebody shows me how to do it and then I do it myself. And I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.